Hi everyone, it's Heather here at Creative Faith Art Studio, and today I'm going to do another little journal entry. This was actually, I recorded the journal entry a long time ago. After my trip, I printed some more pictures and put some things together, but I did not make the video, like upload it to YouTube. So this is what I did. So I found some tags from my sister's soap. She gave me, I don't know if, for those of you who are just joining me on my channel, my sister opened a little soap store in Illinois, and it was kind of a pop-up store, so it wasn't open for very long, just through the holidays last year. And so I found some items from her store and from her soap, and I wanted to make a little page dedicated to her in my journal. So I decided to take these 2 pages, and I just used double-sided tape, and I made a pocket and stapled one of the tags from her soap onto the thing to make a little tab. And then this is my son and his girlfriend, and he is out of high school, but she is not. So he went and had took pictures for her prom. So I had printed those out, and I'm just gonna make these into like little tags and put them into that pocket that I just made. It turns out that they're a little bit bigger than or wider than the pocket, so I have to trim them down quite a bit, but that's okay. And then my husband also had his 50th birthday, so I wanted to take a picture from his birthday and put that on this spot also. And this was kind of just a way to get the pictures into these little events into my journal. Like, I had printed the photos, and they had just kind of been sitting in a pile, and I was afraid they'd get damaged. And then this is a picture. Oh, I guess I didn't put that one in there. So now I realize they're too long, too tall, too long. So I decided to trim the bottom of the pictures off. I was going to peel them off and then try to cut the paper down, but realized that wasn't going to work. So I just that made me a little sad on that one with my son and his girlfriend, because her dress was so pretty. Just the detail in that beadwork was amazing. So, and then I journal a little bit on the back of each of these cards, and I have this little like notebook paper stamp, sort of lined paper, and I use it kind of a lot, actually, more than I thought I would. So, and then I take some time to ink up the edges, and just because I like the way that the paper looks when it's a little more distressed or worn or old looking. And then I tuck those into the pocket. So here I'm going to, while we were down at my dad's house, he turned 80. So I made him this lemon blueberry mascarpone cake, which was really super delicious. And so I took a picture of that, and then this is a picture of my dad and my 3 boys it's actually the day after his birthday, because it got too late. I made the cake on his birthday, but it was too late, so we didn't actually eat it until the next day. But so it was the day after my birthday cake. Yay! But anyway, So I wanted to put these pictures in, because this was actually the first year in, I think, 2 years that my oldest son had come down to visit him with us. So it was kind of nice to have everyone together. And I did actually get some pictures of my stepmom and my boys and my dad all together, so that was nice. And then I found there's a package of old postcards at the thrift store. So I make one. This is the state building in South Carolina. And so since that's where we were, I thought that was suiting for this page. And so I just made it a little tuck spot. I just used double-sided tape and kind of stuck it down, and then I do staple it just to kind of reinforce it. To be careful though, because of course I have photos in that pocket, so you can't just staple anywhere. And then I had written out the recipe, so that's the recipe for the lemon berry mascarpone cake. And so I just printed that out and tucked it in there, and then I decided to put that same lined stamp on the back of this card so I can journal on that later. And this is when I journal. So now that I'm done journaling, I decide to tape that into the journal. I don't really want to cover up that hymn page, so I decide to make a hinge on that, on that side of the page using washi tape. So I put a little tape on one side and line it up as close as I can. You can leave a little space so it's kind of got a little room to fold, back and forth. Otherwise it tends to bend the page. And so now that that's in there, I've got a little fold out, and I always like the way that looks. It's a little more interactive, and and it doesn't hide the stuff behind it. So and then I put a little extra tape on this because that background on that page that I'm taping on right now has a little bit of a gloss to it, so the tape doesn't stick as well. And then I journal a little more down the side, which I thought was kind of fun. I had just a few more things I wanted to get in there, and I ran out of room on the back of that picture. And now I go in and journal on the back of those photos. So I finished journaling, and I decided to tuck those pictures back in, and the fit is just so snug, and probably because I stapled that one side. So I trim the edges of the pictures down again, and I add a little more distress ink to the sides of the pages. Okay, so now I've got, I want to, again, add some things about my sister's store to this page. So I cut the label off of one of her bags from her shop, and I add a little bit of paper to the background just to give it a little more texture and decoration to the page. I tend to use that kind of a lot. I use that pattern from sewing machines or sewing patterns, the paper from the inside. I just think I love it. So, and then this is a little cutout from a magazine. My mom has been cutting out things out of calendars and magazines, anything she thinks is kind of pretty or that I can put in a journal. She's been saving for me. So I just, I had recently gone down to see her and my sister, and so that's where I got these little flowers. I think they're so pretty. And then I just trim around the label from the bag, and I glue that down to the page. And then I have an an old picture of my sister from when she was a little girl. And so I decide to add that also to the page because it's been sitting in my art room, and I'm afraid it's going to get damaged if it sits out too long, you know what I mean? Like it gets knocked off the shelf, and I just want to make sure it doesn't get ruined. So I write her name on the back, and I don't know when that pic photo was taken. I'm not sure. I think she's like 3 or 4 years old, but I'm pretty sure my older brother is in that photo too, and he's like 2 years younger, 1 or 2 years younger than her, so I'm not sure exactly. But so I write her name on the back, and then I glue it or tape it down to another piece of paper. It's like, you're brilliant. Oh, but whatever. I wanted to give it a little bit of background. And then I decide to journal. I staple it to the page, and then I journal underneath it. And that is my video. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for stopping by my channel. If you haven't already, please, and you like the video, please take some time to like the video and subscribe to my channel. I try to post once a week. I'm getting back into my routine again, so I hope to post again in just a little bit. And yeah, thanks again. Thanks so much. I appreciate you taking the time, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.